Well, actually, I want to dive into the tempers flaring up a little bit at training camp practice today. The pads go on. I'm guessing it was over 90 degrees again.
Yep.
Listen, you're out there in full pads. Things get hot, boy. People start getting on your nerves, right? But Nate Hobbs was asked earlier in the week. Actually, I think it was 2 days ago, right? He was asked, "Hey, let's turn it down a little bit, turn it down a notch." And I know some fans got upset because Marshawn Lloyd got a little banged up from a hit he threw. We're going to dive into everything there that to the best of my knowledge, the details we could glean from that whole situation. But I want to play an audio for you guys. Tim, if you'll give me a screen grab, I'm going to play this. Okay, guys, this was from when Rodney Harrison signed with the New England Patriots. Okay, when he signed with the New England Patriots, they had let Lawyer Milloy go. Lawyer Milloy was a team captain. All right. So imagine this. They cut the team captain loose, and then they bring in another guy, and the team was pretty upset about it. They were thinking about protesting and everything because Lawyer Milloy meant that much to the team, right? Well, they bring in Rodney Harrison, and you think, okay, he's going to go in there and just let me just tiptoe in here and try to make some friends. Sounds familiar, don't it? Nate Hobbs coming in as a new free agent, right? We're talking about resetting the tone. Listen specifically to how Bill Belichick responded to Rodney Harrison being too physical in practice. And tell me if you think this is a good thing or a bad thing, what Nate Hobbs did today. Because, again, it's all about culture, right? Check this out. You're going to hear multiple Patriots. I wish I could put it up on the screen, but you guys know the copyright thing. I'll let you listen to the audio. Here we go.
My initial reaction is, wow, he's a safety. Man, he's like a strong safety. We've got a pretty good strong safety in Lawyer Milloy.
That was Lawyer Milloy's job. That was him that came in with all the big hits and didn't care what people thought about him.
Make no mistake, Rodney Harrison is not here to feel loved.
I came with a laser focus and so much anger.
The main guy he attacked and he was on was Tom Brady.
Rodney and Tom going back and forth verbally. Just never seen Tom get rattled that bad, not even in games.
Troy Brown would come across the middle. I tried to run through Troy like he was absolutely the enemy. And then I hit Kevin Falk. And he throws the ball at me. There was fights and linemen pushing me and shoving me and punching me.
And you look over at Bill, and he would be over there with a smirk on his face and just loving it.
All right, go ahead.
Best practice player probably ever. A few feathers. Not in a dirty way, just in a highly competitive way. It made everybody else better.
I've managed to, I guess, make a couple guys not like me very much, but, I don't play the game for people to like me. My mom likes me. That's all I need,
Let's go.
So, again, when you see what happened today, there's some fans like, oh, he's playing reckless. He's going to get somebody hurt and this and that.
Belt ass. BTA.
Yeah. I love it. Belt ass. Listen, we talked for so long about how this defense was soft, right?
Yep.
4 or 5 years ago, it was just like, man, we need Jacob used to say it all the time, right? It's like, man, we just need some grit. We need somebody to get angry out there a little bit, right? This comes in and sets the entire tone for camp. The first padded practice. And let's just go through what happened today, okay? We'll run through it real quick. I want to get everybody's take on it, right? And I had it run down some of the details of the entire situation, it being AI and combing through different articles, things like that, all right? So incident description. During the first padded practice on July 28th, Green Bay Packers cornerback Nate Hobbs tackled running back Marshawn Lloyd low, causing both to land on the ground. Listen, that's a cardinal sin in training camp. Stay off the ground, right? Stay off the ground. That's where people get hurt. The tackle resulted in Lloyd injuring his right leg, leading him to sit out the rest of the practice. This action occurred despite Coach LaFleur's explicit instructions before the practice, where he emphasized not tackling to the ground and keeping players on their feet. The hit happened within the first 3 plays of the 11-on-11 drill and would have been considered a textbook tackle in game. All right. Players
BTA. You know what I'm saying?
And he is saying PTA in case y'all are wondering. All right. Marshawn Lloyd did not require further examination in the Don Hudson Center and watched the rest of the practice still in his pads. Lloyd did not appear to be limping as he walked around, but the severity of his injury was unclear, as the Packers do not update injuries on the day they happen. All right. Lloyd had previously suffered multiple injuries that sidelined him for most of his rookie season, and it showed promise with good-looking runs in non-padded practice. Love this shot right here, by the way, at Carrington Valentine and Nate Hobbs. These dudes, I'm telling you, they're going to be a menace. I think they're going to be just partners in crime in this DB room. Reactions. So Nate Hobbs was benched for the next series following the incident. Hobbs acknowledged that the hit was not intentional, stating, quote, "It wasn't malicious. I didn't see him until the last second. I got off the blocker. I just saw him. He got low and I got low, and he hit me just as I got low. I didn't get a chance to ask him about it, but I can't do that."
Built
Right,
that. BTA.
Goes on to say Hobbs admitted that being early in the first padded practice might have led him to play with too much edge, saying, quote, "Given it was the first day of pads, I came out fired up. I had that extra gear in me, but I had already been told to tone it down and heard about it again from LaFleur." Hobbs vowed to tone it down, stating, "It's hard, but it's what we get paid to do. By any means necessary, you got to find a way to do that, and I'm going to do that. I know how to do that. I'm not a rookie in the NFL. I can't do it." All right. He said he also mentioned he would continue his physical style in games, but would find a way to back off during practices, as demonstrated when he broke up a pass to Josh Jacobs without running over him, saying, quote, "I just have to find a way to do that." The fact that he's having to really put an emphasis on this, Tim, and turn it off. You ran into him after practice, right? You talked to him. Tell him about that exchange, Tim.
I was going to keep that between me
Should
and
we?
Mr. Hobbs. But,
Okay. All right. No. We should.
No, it's all good. I'll say this. I was waiting for the air conditioning to kick in the vehicle because it was pretty hot in there when I got back to the car. And so I was kind of waiting outside, checking the updates. And I'm seeing the vans drive by full of players being shuttled. And lo and behold, I look up and there's Nate Hobbs carrying his own helmet, walking barefoot with his cleats in his other hand, no shirt on, all by himself, looking pissed off at the world. And I had a 2-minute conversation with Nate Hobbs, and let's just say, it's real. It's not a facade. This guy's the real deal. And belt to ass is the theme for 2025
Belt
for the
to
second year.
So, let me get your all's original take here real quick. We'll start with you this time, Emilio. What do you think about it? Do you like it? And listen, it's okay if you don't like it. I get it, man. You're risking hurting players, and we know Marshawn Lloyd was a little banged up. Obviously, he's missed a lot of time. He came out of the gate early in this offseason, and they had to hold him back a little bit already. But what's your take, man?
I mean, I like it, but I was also one of the kids that was trying to crack skulls at all times. But I mean, you got a guy like that. It's hard to tone it back. You're itching now. They've been working out for a month probably plus. You're itching to get some hits. Upper thumps or whatever. Uppers, pads. You're never wearing the knee pads. You're not wearing the thigh pads. All that stuff. Not like they wrap up like that anymore, really. But you get a thud. I mean, if you're off balance and you're Marshawn Lloyd and you get thudded up top and you fall down, I mean, that's going to happen, dude. I mean, you got to kind of practice like you play. So I'm pretty cool, honestly, with Hobbs doing that. I like hitting, and I think that, if you don't come with kind of that mentality, it's easier to, tone it back than it is to turn it up. So I would much rather him have that and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was just thinking that we talked about that last night, right, Clay? Like you'd rather have to tell a guy to dial it back a little bit than try and coax that extra little bit out of him, And I think Nate Hobbs will find his way here as we work through camp. Hopefully he doesn't, kill half of our offense before the season starts,
No, and that's it, Tim. And I get what Matt's coming from, right? Obviously he needs to try to keep it, but it's also Matt's kind of sitting in the back of his head like, oh, I kind of love that. I kind of love that he is.
Oh, it. Yeah.
Like he's still got to, hold his head high for the team. But at some point, somebody needs to take a whooping to kind of, we need to get a hierarchy here just so that you can kind of feel where this team's going.
Yeah. Now, Jacob, I know you were extremely offended by Nate Hobbs and how physical he was at camp. Tell everybody why he was wrong for doing this, Jacob.
Unfortunately, I can't do that, Clayton. I am 100% on the Nate Hobbs bandwagon right now. I want more guys like him. I saw somebody in the chat say if we had, 22 players like Nate Hobbs, we'd be winning championships. I absolutely love that. I love the old school mentality. You know what? This is football, boys. We're wearing pads. We're strapping up. We're doing stuff, and we're not going to be patty caking around anymore. I'm sick of the days of stopping and waiting to make a tackle. I'm sick of the days of not being able to throw the thunder. I'm sick of the days of us not getting bloodied and bruised. Nate Hobbs comes into Green Bay and says, "No, I'm not going to sit around and again play patty cake and practice even." Exactly. I want to see. I wish that the other guys would do more of it, to be honest. And I think that he's going to be a tone setter, and that's what we need. We need somebody that, like, we got a tone setter in the linebacker room. We got one in the defensive line. Now we need one. We got one in the safety room. Now we got one in the cornerback room, and I'm excited about it.
Jacob, do you remember those first days of, like, right after two-a-days and everything like that, and you finally are putting on pads? It's like, dude, I'm so mad at that dude for making me run sprints the past 3 weeks. Like, me, Oklahoma, let's go.
Hey, I'll never forget this. I know it's a stupid side story, but we were in practice, and there was a guy named Eric Vandenheuvel. You can look him up. He's massive. He's like 6'7". He went to Wisconsin on a full ride scholarship, played all 4 years, and I decleated this dude on a walkthrough kickoff scenario, and the coach almost killed me. But then the defensive coach came up and he's like, "Hell yeah, dude, hell yeah."
That's a great point, though, Jacob. Like you said, man, we've been waiting for this since last year, right? I mean, maybe even 2 years ago when we got this comment.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
And we are a far cry away from that secondary that we had a couple years ago. And I think the piss is definitely hot in Green Bay right now, and I love it.
Real hot.
Sure. Yeah, so reading along here, this was not the first instance of Hobbs being overly aggressive in practice. He had previously put a heavy hit on wide receiver Dontavion Wicks in a non-padded practice, which drew a lecture from LaFleur about toning it down. The Packers signed Hobbs for his physical style of play, which was evident during his 4 seasons with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he was known for doing everything to prevent receivers from catching the ball. Hobbs is expected to play a significant role in raising the level of physical play in the secondary, lining up as a starter opposite Keyshawn Nixon at outside corner. Given this is his 5th training camp, there is an expectation for Hobbs to know better and adjust the intensity during practices, as he acknowledged. Quote, "At the same time, this is the 5th training camp. He should know better. He's got to learn to turn it down in practice." I wonder how Jeff Hafley feels about this. I bet he's just over there grinning a little bit. So here's the outcomes. It says Hobbs was benched for the next series as a direct consequence of the tackle. Obviously, we talked about that. Lloyd's participation in future practices remains uncertain pending further updates on his injury status. Hobbs committed to adjusting his approach to practice to align with team expectations while maintaining his physical style for the games. Save it for Sunday, boys. Save it for Sunday, but give us a little bit every now and again. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Robert in the chat says Alexander Ravines.
Alexander for the Ravens didn't practice because of swelling in his knee today. Double check that on NBC Sports. Jair misses practice with knee swelling. Ravens expect him back on.
Who?
Expect him back when?
Tuesday. So that's tomorrow. Hopefully it's a quick turnaround, but I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I don't wish any ill will on Jair. I know Emilio doesn't, Jacob doesn't, Tim doesn't. But man, if it does prove that, hey, look, he just can't get the knee right. I mean, we've seen it before with Bach, and that sounds a little bit like Bach, right? How it kept swelling up. They'd have to drain the knee again.
That's pretty early for it to swell up.
What's that?
That's pretty early for it to swell up.
Right. No, that's a great point. I will say this. He had nothing but positive things to say about Green Bay in his first press conference with Baltimore. So I don't want to come across like, see, Goody got it right. But early kind of feels like he might have got it right. You know,
Heard it
and
from a fan right here.
I was the one saying for $6 million, let's bring him back, you know, but that may be $6 million we end up saving. So, all right. Anything else on the Nate Hobbs situation, man? Again, I'm excited about Hobbs. I'm not expecting him to come out and play all pro caliber. What I am expecting, though, is you're getting a physical corner who's not going to make a whole lot of mistakes, right? And someone who I think is going to be available for the most part, as long as he don't knock himself out of the lineup being too physical. I really, really think it's. I mean, essentially, what it's coming down to is we missed Jair for more than half the games, right? We talked about they missed what, over 50% of the snaps the last 3 years, I think, on average or whatever. So essentially, Nate Hobbs is replacing Eric Stokes is the way I look at it, because we still got CV, we still got Keyshawn. That's a hell of an upgrade, boys. Hell of an upgrade from Eric Stokes to Nate Hobbs. I'm really excited about.
Hold on, Clayton. I'm getting something in my ear. We got a quote from Nate Hobbs. Hold on.
Belt to ass. BTA. Know what I'm saying?